Welcome to episode 200 of Broad Street Hustle. Yes, you heard that right. Episode 200, little over, what did we just say? 3-4 years? 4 years?
Almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years of episodes. Hit the 200 mark. I think we did a little thing for the 100th episode, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing special planned for 200, just our regular show where we'll talk some Phillies and finish with the Keeneland pick four. But still pretty big moment for Broad Street Hustle as we hit the 200 mark for episodes. I am your host, Tommy Nanny. Used to work now. Tommy Nanny, as always, our regular co-hosts are with us. Jason Santa.
What's up, Tom?
Jason, how's it going? And we got Jimmy the Chalk.
I'm not sure if 200 qualifies us for quantity or quality, but we got here somehow.
Look, we got the 200, some fun episodes, some lean episodes where we had to create a little bit of content. We skipped a few here and there, but not much.
Had some famous guests. We had Jimmy D, obviously. But
D.
Scully, like you see Scully all over the place now. That was really cool.
That's legit. That
was really cool for him to come on.
Shock. It's still a little surprising.
Yeah, that was cool when to come on.
Biggest lesson learned is sometimes it's fine to skip a week and not try to force a very thin show.
Yeah, I mean, Chalky is behind the scenes of pretty much all 200 episodes.
Yeah, most of them. So I wasn't producing right off the bat, but
I think me and Jason tried to get a couple of those. That was tough.
Yeah. There might have been a struggle, and I was like, "Yeah, you just be a regular co-host."
They were the YouTube shows too, I believe.
Yes. We didn't get onto YouTube until the championship weekend of 23 with the Eagles 49ers, which got a little heated, as I remember. But those are some good shows. But that run there got a little hot.
We had some good ones with Meeker for a while. We had Walt came on a few times. Omar made an appearance.
Yep. John Del Rocca,
John Del Rocca. Had Del Rocca actually did the trivia show last time.
Yeah.
We may need to get Omar back soon if the playoffs shake up the way they could be going. We'll see.
And then Kevin, the golf guy, who will be on next week for the Masters. I don't know. Oh, I think we had didn't my buddy Dave from the Marines. I think he did an episode.
Dave Marine,
Chris Roselli.
Chris.
Chris. That's right. We had Chris in the beginning of the golf show. So yeah, I mean it's been a long journey, but we got to 200. But all right, let's kick it off. The 200th episode is brought to you by Giovannina's Pizza. You tried the rest. Now I'll try the best. All right. So the Phillies season has kicked off. After 3 games, they were probably considered the worst team in baseball, not going to make the playoffs. Most of the players stunk. The pitching staff was bad. Bullpen was bad. They can't hit. Then miraculously, they won 2 games. They're 500. Now they look a little better, and they might make the playoffs, as if you listen to a lot of people. But remember, we're 6 games into the season. But it's our job to talk about it. So we are 6 games into the season. Starting pitching has been, up and down. Bullpen's been up and down. Hitting in the first 5 innings has been atrocious, pretty much. I mean, you get some late hits, some comebacks. I mean, they did come back in 3 games, right? 3 games, I think. They came back and won 1.
2 games.
I thought they hit late in another game where they came back.
They came back. They hit late and lost an extra innings. Is that?
So they put up the 3 or 4 runs in the 9th against the Rangers, lost an extra innings, and then yesterday against the Nationals.
Yes, I guess.
And then they got blown out once each by the Rangers and Nationals.
Yeah, so I guess it is just the 2 games. So I mean, they are hitting late, but early on, they've not. The top of the lineup is not hitting, obviously, right now. But we're 6 games into the season, and they're sitting at 3-3, going on their first road trip starting tomorrow against who is it? I forget. Colorado. Yeah. So that's a good place to maybe figure out the bats. Definitely a good place to figure out the bats. Defense has been very shaky to start this season, to say the least, and it's come in pretty much in all kinds of varieties. Whether it was infield, I mean. Kemp, who nobody's surprised, not really playing a good left field. But there's some good points to the season as well. and we're going to dissect it. And I guess, Jason, I'll kind of let you just take it to where you want to go when we open it up with the Phillies.
All right, I'll start with the good points. So let's start with Painter the other night. So Andrew Painter made his first major league start. And I mean, I'll have to tell you, I was really impressed with him. Not so much with the results, but more just watching him and like he's a pitcher. It's like he was pitching. He was making pitches, and his off-speed stuff. I thought his curveball was like freezing guys. Like his curveball was phenomenal. He was throwing the off-speed pitches for strikes, which is not easy to do. Hitting his spots. Now, before he had the Tommy John surgery, he had an explosive fastball. If that comes back, I mean, there's no telling how good this kid could be, because his fastball was he getting 97? I forget.
He hit 97 at least once, I remember, because that kind of caught my attention. But
I thought he even hit 98 once or twice. But
he might have.
But it wasn't overwhelming. It didn't have a pop to it.
Like, no, he was getting 100.
He actually throws out one that gets the two-seamer that has crazy movement on it.
Yeah. I mean, if he could get that explosive fastball back, I mean, this kid could be something special. But I was really impressed. I thought he was really good. Looking forward to watching him, pitch again.
I can't wait because I just hope they show that fiance every game he plays. That'll be a nice added bonus.
Yeah. Now let's move to Crawford. So here's a guy that I mean, I'll be the first to admit I was very skeptical of him, because of the stats where he's basically hitting ground balls. But guess what? That's what I like the best about him is he seems to make contact. He slaps the ball with a guy with his speed. But if you guys remember, I always wanted that Rojas to slap the ball on the ground and use his speed and make guys make plays to get him out. This guy, that's what he does. And I know that, they say, well, a lot of those balls that were going through in AAA are not going to go through in the major. This is a guy who's unlike anybody else in the lineup, because everybody else is, swinging for the fences and trying to hit home runs. This guy makes contact, uses his speed so far, obviously, but I'll admit I'm wrong so far. I mean, he looks like a really nice player, and I'm really happy with him. I don't want them to move him in the lineup anywhere. Keep him ninth for now. Don't overwhelm him, because I heard all the people screaming and hooting and hollering because they didn't start him the other day. You're not going to start the guy 162 games a year. You're going to pick your spots against a tough lefty. You're not going to start him. You don't want him to fall into bad habits against bad, tough lefties. Ease him into the major leagues. So very happy with Crawford. The bag, the top of the lineup is atrocious. Like the first four hitters are an embarrassment right now, especially Harper. Harper, I just saw a stat where exit velocity out of 276 players, he's 235th in baseball in exit velocity. And I'm not surprised seeing it. He's lost at the plate. Like, he's guessing at pitches. Like, he went up, he swings at every first pitch. The other night, like, it might have been the last game, I'm not sure, but he swung at a first pitch that bounced. You're guessing. You're guessing that you're going to get a fastball, and that's what you're swinging at. His timing's off. He's guessing. He's a mess right now. I mean, I know he hit a home run yesterday, but he's a mess right now. That all being said, though, I saw other stats today where they're basically middle of the pack in baseball and offense. So there's a lot of teams that are struggling right now.
I mean, keep in mind we're playing baseball in March too. Like, it's early for these guys,
and it's cold and it's early, and a lot of these guys. If you notice, a lot of the WBC, especially the U.S. players, have not gotten off to good starts. So I'm sure there's something to that, But and the last thing I just want to bring up Sosa, because in game 1 of the National Series, listen, I know Taijuan Walker did not pitch well, all right, but Edmundo Sosa blew that game.
Well, if you get the out in the first inning, it could be 1-0.
It goes from it would have been a 1-run inning to a 4-run inning. It went from, because he decided to throw home instead of just taking the out at first base. So because the next hitter, Bohm, is playing in. If he's not playing in, he makes the play and the inning's over.
I mean, they're playing the infield at normal depth.
And the inning's over.
The play is to
Correct.
go to first base.
Correct.
But it was just a bonehead play.
But he won yesterday's game, so he made up for it. So, that being said, it's early, like you said, but we have to talk about it. So,
yeah, I think a lot of the people's problems are a lot of the concerns you had going into the season are exactly the concerns the first 6 games, right?
Yeah.
The top. I mean, Turner. I know you want to say stuff about Harper, and I agree. Turner's embarrassing to watch, Pat.
Yeah.
Embarrassing to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a guy who goes to the plate and his mind is made up. I'm going to have a non-competitive at bat so I can sit down as quick as I possibly can. I mean, he goes and it's 1 pitch or 3 pitches. And
that's why he's always down. He's always down 0-2 in the count.
His foot is stepping in the dugout when he swings. He's in front of every single pitch. I mean, it's embarrassing to watch him. And then, boom. Again, I don't have a problem with Bohm. The problem is he's your 4 hitter, but that's not his fault. It's 2-0 in the count. You can't pop up to second base on a 2-0 pitch. You swing at a pitch that jams you. It's 2-0. You only swing at a ball that's in the zone. Like, that's the stuff that's why people get crazy with this team is they're some of their bats are just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like what they swing at, their chase rate, all that. It's like, it's frustrating, and that's what you've seen to start the season. But the way you alluded to, it's kind of still mid-pack, so it's like some of it's perception, but still, it's a lot of what we've seen over the years, and people carry this into, well, this is what they're going to do in the playoffs, and that's why you're upset. Totally get it. 6 games in the season. Chalk.
They're a very mid-packed team right now. I mean, everything about them is mid. You got three very good starts. Right. So your 3 wins were all great starts. Your starting pitcher ERA in those games is like 1.2, right? 3 not so great starts, and you can debate. Well, maybe Nola wasn't, but okay.
Yeah, Nola still was 3 runs in 5 innings. I mean,
yeah, he wasn't awful.
Not awful,
it looks awful, but he wasn't. Luzardo was awful. Walker was awful.
Luzardo was on Walker, though they put up 6 each, and I mean, you've got games where 2 games they scored first, or I'm sorry, their 3 wins were all games when they scored first. The 3 games they lost were all games they did not score first. They were down multiple runs early. They went wire to wire. They've gotten blown out, and then they had 2 comebacks, one which they won and one with it. And so they've shown different things in different games. So it's like, okay, the fact that they came back in the 9th inning on 3 run or more deficits in 2 games in the first 6 says, okay, well, they got fight in them. But then, you talk about at bats, like, I don't know, Marsh statistically has been one of the better average, but like the pitcher that was in, who was it that got Sosa got the hit to get the 2 guys home.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I get, Bohm had to stop at second because the ball was coming through, but he's a giraffe, so you can't even think about sending him like from third. So, you had so Marsh comes up. The pitcher was all over the place. And Marsh is swinging first pitch. Now, it wasn't a bad pitch. Like, it was a strike. But, take a pitch and see if you can get – they already had 1 pass ball in the inning and 1 or 2 other almost pass balls. Like, just why are you going up and you swinging on the first pitch there? And he flies out, and that's the end of the inning. And luckily they got through and, won. But
my thing is not – my problem isn't – I don't mind – if they swing the first pitch, it's fine. But you got to do something with it. You can't pop it up. If you're going to do that, you got to get. That's
the trade-off. It wasn't a bad pitch to swing at, but you can't pop it up, or you can't fly out.
Low, you can't pop it up the second. Like, there are the things you can't do. You just can't. I mean, and the other problem is the same problems I had last year and all the years in this run. In the Painter game, that Painter game was a lot closer than it needs to be because Bohm grounds into a double play with the bases loaded. That game's wide open if Bohm does anything. Like, they don't tack on any sort of runs. So now a 3-0 game becomes 3-1, becomes 3-2. Now Duran's in the game, and it's a high leverage situation, and it takes a running catch by Marsh or whatever, and you win. But like, there are games that you need to break open, and you go up 6-0, and it's over. And they're not doing it. They didn't.
Yeah, I mean, looked like the home opener was going to be that game, and then even then it got interesting. I mean, I think up and down. Duran has been very good to start the year. I know he got the loss in the second game, but you got the ghost. They got the runner on second already.
Yeah, that's not
the rest of the bullpen. The bullpen's giving up runs in every game, so you haven't had a shutdown. 7, 8, 9 in any of these games from the bullpen. So
Can I stop you there because I wanted to mention something about Duran. I don't know if you guys are gonna just think this is blasphemy or not, but like, what are your thoughts on Duran? Like, to me,
I don't think he's as good as the hype is, personally.
I don't either. I don't like that he doesn't strike guys out. I don't like that
contact guy. I mean, it's hard to strikeouts in that save, but
he's got to strike guys out. I'm willing to give him a little bit of leeway because it's the start of the year, but there were moments last year where
he did the same thing. Yeah, like
better than anything we've had in a decade.
Think he's hyped more than what he does on the field. And
issue
I don't feel like the game's over when he goes into the game.
My issue with him is for as hard as he throws, he should be striking more guys out.
Yeah, I can't disagree.
Because that's what you want in a closer. You don't want the ball in play.
Well, that's why, and I knew everybody does it, but that's why I didn't totally love him pitching in the 9th or the 10th with the ghost runner, because there's already a guy on second. You need strikeouts to knock
him out. And he pitches to contact a lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that's the typical move with non-safe, like they put the closer, and I get all that. But to your point, yeah, I'm just saying when he comes in the game, I don't feel like the game's over. I feel like he could blow any game at any time. I did. And I felt that way too.
To Jimmy's point, he is better than anything we've had in 10 years. So.
And you have a guy that is your closer. You're not.
And he is closer.
Yeah. So I agree with that. So.
Yeah. So, I would say Crawford has been a bright spot. Like Jason said, he's getting on base, and he got the winning hit yesterday, so that's a boost, for a young kid, I guess. And Garcia got his average up in the last series, but didn't do much against Texas otherwise. So I mean, look, it's 6 games.
He's hitting the ball hard though, Garcia.
He is hitting the ball hard. So unlike Harper, his exit velocity has been doing a lot better, And JT wasn't doing anything, got some hits yesterday. Again, it's 6 games. Like, anybody can be on a cold streak or a hot streak to start the year, but there's to Jason's point, Crawford might be the one where you say, yeah, well, this is better than we would have expected. Like Painter too, but even Painter, it's like you see these high touted prospects come up, like they can have a couple of good games where they make guys just don't have a read on them yet. And then, middle of the year be when you really, like, remember Hamels came up, had a couple really good starts, then he struggled a little bit.
I mean, Mick Abel last year came up and struck out whatever he struck out.
Not to say I would expect him to pitch as well as he did, where he was striking guys out and getting caught. By the way, I don't, not to go off too far off topic, but I appreciate the ABS system, but if I was a manager, I would have some sort of restriction, because the other night Washington was out of challenges in the third inning. And
First of all, it just
you should just have carte blanche to just hit your head anytime you won. Like, I would throw a fit if I was the manager, because it's the only sport where the challenge doesn't come from the coach or manager.
Yeah, if I'm coaching, I'm saying JT Realmuto, when we're in defense, is the only one that
absolutely
on defense. Offensively, Schwarber and Harper, you guys do what you want, but anybody else, like, wait until later in the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they have to do it quick, so it's not like the manager can sit there and wait for a replay and then yell out.
Managers can't do anything. It's
they're not even allowed to.
Players.
I just think that 2 things. One, it shows you. I know for us, we watch it on TV and we make how incredibly hard it is to call balls and strikes when you're the batter, the pitcher, the umpire. It looks like a whole different game when we watch it on TV.
Yeah.
Because I've seen batters like throw a fit and it's a strike. And two, it's the dumbest thing in all sports to have challenges on balls and strikes. Because now I need to decide strategically when I want to say the
First of all,
umpire
it should
made a
be
mistake.
full
It's
time.
either ABS or it's we
Yeah.
listen to the
Should
umpire.
be full time
That's it.
ABS.
Home plate
That's it.
umpire is there to make call safe or out. He's not calling balls and strikes.
Or we don't use ABS at all, and we just have to live with an umpire. The challenging of only having 2 challenges is stupid.
Yeah, or
It's
up to 2 if you
dumbest
lose
thing
them.
in the
I mean,
world.
but like, to your point, Todd, like, was it 1-0 when Washington used the other challenge? Like, there were strategically, like, you can't use that challenge. Like, there was no
I know,
great
but my
benefit.
point is if the umpires, if you question them in the first, like whether it's the first and shouldn't, it's either right, it's either not a strike, or it is. Like,
Oh yeah, no.
The fact you have to use strategy to say when the guy's right or wrong.
Well, I mean, there were some pretty noticeable misses. It seemed like after they got out of challenges,
oh my God,
that Painter was missing and he was getting calls. I don't know if that was the umpire
Duran
just
got
saying
called
like,
to in the 9th inning.
yeah, I'm just going to call whatever I want because you're out of challenges. But
Duran, I mean, honestly, that game might not be a save if they have challenges because there was
They really
very
need to
questionable calls.
just
so,
use it full time.
yeah, I mean, I agree.
stupid.
Use it full. I
It's
mean, if
stupid.
it's that, I mean, they're saying that it's a ball or a strike by 0.1
Oh, yeah,
1/10 of an inch.
Yeah, I know.
If the technology is that good, then just call that full time and let the umpires call at the home plate, everything else. He's got to
Swing,
call balk
speed,
or
ball.
swing and whatever. Like
Yeah.
let the umpire stay with that. There's still enough for a home plate umpire to do.
Right,
yeah.
they're not losing their job. They're
No.
still going to be out there. It's not like they're, the umpire union's
Yeah.
going to come in and say, I mean, they're not losing their job.
I mean, it'll keep CB Buckner employed for another 20 years probably. Although he
Yeah.
misses calls at first base too, if
Yeah,
you saw
I
that.
mean, he's different. That's different. I mean, he's just, I got to do it on purpose, it seems like. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either
No.
way.
Random thing. Did you see how many of the players had to have their height adjusted to get the ABS calibrated correctly?
Yeah, I saw there was like a bunch of height adjustments.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't
most
realize
guys-
that was why.
Most guys lost a couple inches. I
Yeah, I
think
didn't realize
Ohtani
that.
actually might have gained 2 or 3. Like somebody got bigger. I want to say it was Ohtani, but there was like, I think everybody in the Phillies like went down an inch in height or more because they're calibrating the ABS system.
And another
Good to
thing,
know.
I don't think we talked about. I think we talked about the save in the first game of the season for the Phillies, but did I hear that the Phillies, Braves, Marlins, Nats, and Mets all won the opening day? It's the first time ever everybody in Division One on opening day ever in
I
baseball.
haven't heard that. I didn't hear it. It could be.
That's insane, right?
Probably. I mean, you got to think, how many years do you open with somebody
Yeah,
in the
I
division?
think
Like
back
that
in the
automatically
day,
takes it out of it as being like a
Before
possibility
interleague playing all too.
when you have
especially.
that.
Right,
But
still though, I mean, we're talking baseball's been around for 250 years, whatever it is.
yeah, I
150
mean, well, figure division play only came around in what, like 68 or 69. So everybody was just
Yeah,
one
so
league
when
at
it
that
counted,
point, and
whatever,
then
you know.
you probably
Still, though,
start.
I mean,
yeah,
I'd feel
it's still,
unbelievable.
yeah. I would have thought. I would never would have thought even now you have 3 divisions in interleague play that it would have been possible.
Yeah.
Yep. So Phillies open up, go. What do they got? 2 series on the road, I guess. Then they're back home again. So
Yeah.
we'll have about 6 games or so, another 2 series before we come back. Or no, we're actually filming probably Tuesday, so only a couple.
Plus, it's the Masters. I would think that whole show is.
Yeah,
out.
we're probably not even going to discuss it, but
Yeah.
so we'll probably have a couple. We'll have 2 weeks of Phillies games. So we'll,
Yeah.
as the season goes on, I would love to get Jimmy D on because he's always interesting.
Yeah.
With his Phillies take. So I'd love to hear what he thinks. But again, 2 weeks in the year, you go through records like everybody's 3-3, 4-2, 2-4. Like ain't nobody. It's just that's what it is. This
I
is
don't think anyone is 6-0.
no, nobody. Yankees had the best record and they were like 4-1 at one point. I'm
Yeah.
not even sure if they. Dude, this is when the fan bases of the Pirates, of the Nationals, still have hope because their teams are above 500.
Yeah.
They think they're in first place for a brief period of time, and then eventually, the pull away starts to take place.
So
I mean,
there are three 5-1 teams at the moment. The
is there that
Yankees,
many? I didn't even think there was that
the
many.
Yankees, the Brewers, and the Miami Marlins.
Marlins are legit.
They play two
Sure.
bad teams, but they're
It's,
5-1.
They're
So
five-
They're one.
6 games in the year. Same
I'm
reason.
telling
why-
you.
yeah.
Same
They-
reason we
They
just
have
said.
good
about the Phillies.
young players, and then they have Alcantara and Yuri Perez at the top of the
Yeah,
rotation.
well, I'm hoping Liam Hicks continues to win the Triple Crown, but we'll see if that works out or not.
He's their backup catcher.
He plays first too, but they're playing him now because he's hitting 467, 12 RBIs, and 3
he's
home runs. So he's
on
getting in
fire.
there every game.
All right,
I mean, but
let's-
really, like first month, you just don't want to bury yourself the first month of the season. Like if you play 2 games over 500, that's fine. You don't want to be, 5-20, and now you got such a big hole to dig out of. So I don't think it's anything to get excited or worried about for a while still.
all right. Let's move on here to the Keeneland late pick 4 that ends with a Derby prep race in the Bluegrass. I think we said last week there was 3 major preps this Saturday, which is the Bluegrass, the Wood, and the San Diego Derby. We will only cover the Bluegrass as far as the preps and Keeneland as far as the tracks for the late pick 4. So that's what we're going to do right now and go through it. The late pick 4 does start at 4:44 Eastern time. And before we kick it off, a little shout out to Jason, who did hit the pick 4 last week on the $30 ticket, paid about $150 or so. We're all right there, but Jason, the ticket that Jason gave out on the show did come through by a slim nose, as slim as you can, but it did on the $30 ticket. It was like $150.
It was 36. My ticket was
Oh, was it
$1 for
36?
$36. Yep.
But
Yep.
so nice little profit on that. So hopefully we can keep it going. Has been pretty good so far on our course shows, but that ticket actually did hit. So, like I said, race 8, 4:44 Eastern time. It's the Grade 2 Appalachian Stakes. It's a mile on the turf. Jason, kick us off.
All right. Yep. So first race, this is a good race actually. I had a spread 4 deep. My top pick is going to be the 10, Imagine the Lady for Walsh and Gaffleone. I mean, off the layoff is a concern, but she does have a win at Keeneland. She was one of the top choices in the Breeders' Cup. So, she's legit. And as you guys know, I like Walsh. I'm a Walsh fan, so I kind of trust him off of the layoff. So she'll be my top choice. My second choice is going to be the 9. Can't remember. Sister Troyen. She is switching to IRAD here for Brian Lynch. Gutierrez, if you guys watched the latest race, she took the lead and then kind of, I don't know if you would say hung or whatever, but there was criticism for Gutierrez for kind of not getting her to the wire there. So he's getting yanked off of the ride, and Irad's getting it. So Irad's probably going to be more aggressive with her out of the gate. So she's going to be. I think she'll be prominent from the start of the race. So she's definitely have to use her. My third choice is going to be a 7, Just Aloof for Brown and Pratt. Another horse that's off the layoff. It's Brown, so obviously, I'm confident that he could get her ready off the layoff. And then she galloped like in the Cal Stakes race, the Jimmy Durante. I know California turf horses aren't the greatest, but she won that race easily, so she's very talented. I also have to throw in the 5, Cocomotion. I mean, at that price, she's probably going to be a price in this race. She's going to be lying. When Whip Beckman's not great in graded stakes, but she's legit. I just think it's a tough race. I'm 5. Well, I'm 10, 9, 7, 5.
All right, and then I actually kind of echo most of what Jason said. I'm going to flip-flop top picks, and I'm going to go with the 9 as my top pick over the 10 for the part reason of Mario Gutierrez switching to Ortiz. It's paired 2/8, so one of the better sheep patterns pairing the 8s. and not coming off the layoff. So you don't know coming off the layoff. So I am going to just flip flop those two. I had the 7 as well. Same reason. 5, I thought was a little sneaky. I mean, you look at that move in the maiden race that the horse made, kind of moving from far back all the way up to almost the front. I love that, especially at a mile. That turn of foot at a mile can go a long way. And because, I'm already using 4, I'm going to throw one more in, and that's the 1, Spirit Doll at 15-1, which is Safi Joseph. The horse ran on first time on turf at Gulfstream, coming down to 2 posts, so kind of inside, showed speed, drew off and won. Then gets the far outside, 8 of 8. Doesn't really, finishes mid-pack, but nothing at low price. I think now that horse has a shot. Second off the layoff, coming back to the rail, so moving back inside. Maybe Machado keeps the horse relatively close and makes a little move at the end and can tip out. So I'm already using 4. I'm going to take a shot and use the 1 as well at 15-1. So I'm 1, 5, 7, 9, and 10. Chalk.
Oh, I have 5 as well. My top pick is the 10. Again, didn't run a bad race in the Breeders' Cup, had trouble. Walsh can run off the layoff. 9 would be the second choice. Everything mentioned, especially picking up Irad. I am using the other Walsh as well, the 8 who beat Sister Troyan last time out. That's a horse that's improved in each of the last couple of races. Might just be getting better still. 7, Just Aloof, Chad Brown, you guys talked about already. And then one longer shot. I threw in the 4, To a Flame, which is Rusty Arnold. The horse has made a couple of big jumps in each of its races so far. Would have to make another big one, but at 12-1, becoming a little bit off the pace. If the pace gets a little hot, I was looking I was at 4, and I said, well, is there a 5th I like? And so as a price, I kind of threw in there. And Concepcion and Arnold have a decent record together over the last 2 years, even maybe not great stakes, but they've run well together. So 10 on top, but I'm 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 overall in that race.
All right. Moving on. Race 9, 7 furlong, Madison, grade 1, 5:16 Eastern Standard Time. I got 3 horses here. To me, there's 2 horses that are kind of going to be your speed. I know the 1 could potentially show a little speed, but with Irad, kind of looks more like a stalking horse. The 2 speed horses I got are 5 and 6 in this race. 6 probably a little bit of more of an early foot, but the 5 is very, very fast too. And I'll make the 5 my top pick with Mott and Alvarado, because I do see the race not shaping up super fast. I tend to think one of those 2 horses win, 5 and 6. I could see them both kind of going, whoever has the better foot at the end. But I did throw in the 4 as well, Ragtime, who has a very good late kick. That one's Mott as well. I actually remember covering this horse in the test, coming off of just the maiden and the allowance race.
Yeah.
And the horse ran exceptionally well. Just lost by a neck that race. Never really came back. Won the dogwood, I guess you could say, but then those figures were kind of higher early on. Now coming off a little bit of a layoff, I trust Mott to have the horse ready. If for some reason the 1 maybe shows a little more speed with the 5 and 6, and you do get more of a duel, you have the 4 that could pick up the pieces. But top pick is the 5, but I'm 4, 5, 6. Chalky?
So my top pick is actually going to be the 3, Clico, for Pratt and, once again, Brandon Walsh. Cutting back, so angle I always like to take a look at. And last time, started out running 7s before going to more distance, won a couple graded stakes at the longer distances, but showed some early speed at Keeneland when running, breaking its maiden. I don't expect to be on the lead, but should be right there. So that's not a slow pace. Will be their challenge. I do also have the 5 Grand Job, Grand Job. Make sure people understand that. Mott, as you said, I better the speeds, and if not challenge, could obviously go wire. And then I also threw in the 1 Eclatant. Well, I think that's how you say it. Cox, Ortiz, Irad. Probably won't be in the lead, but might get first run, depending on how far back the 3 is. But making my 3 is the top choice, but I'm 1, 3, 5.
Yeah, Grand Job's one of those names you're surprised they got through the jockey club. Maybe if Brad Cox was the trainer, it wouldn't have, but with that mod, it got through. Jason,
So I handicapped this race for a lot of speed. Tom, you didn't think the 8 Mystic Lake is also going to be? I mean, I thought 5, 6, and 8 were going to be like contesting the lead. Now, I know
yeah,
it's sad feet.
maybe I honestly probably missed that page. I handicapped 3 hours before we got on the shelf.
There you have it. So my top choice. I'm 3 deep. My top choice is going to be the 4 Ragtime from Mott and Johnny V. Like I said, 5, 6, and 8 are all going to be contesting the lead, I think. So I think it sets up perfectly for her off the pace. My second choice is the 3 Clee Cub for Walsh and Pratt. I like that she's got a win at the track. Again, she's going to be flying hard down the stretch. I trust Pratt to work out a trip there. But I'll also use the 5 Grand Job from Mott. Maybe she's just, maybe she's just better than these horses. And even though there's other speed, she's going to stay up there and hang on. So again, I'm 3 deep, 4, 3, and 5.
All right, moving on. The Shaker, 5.5 grade 2 Shakertown, always an impossible race at Keeneland every year. I did only use 3 horses, but probably it's going to be some crazy price. But Chalky, we'll start with you.
Sure. That's right. We started with you last time, right? So I got 5. Spread and for a top pick, I begrudgingly will go with the 12. Usually wrong for honors. Robert Diodoro. Got DQ'd out of own race, but has been running at this distance, coming out of the fairgrounds. The favorite 8 litigation, Moorline favorite, Lynch Gutierrez, obviously 3 for 4 at the distance, has run okay at Keeneland. The 10, Rizza Rolex, Orsino and Zayas, and also no, I'm sorry, I don't have the 10. I thought I had all the even horses. My Boy Prince, Cassie and Ortiz, Yellow Card, McCarthy and Pratt, and 6, Heart-Headed as a longer shot on the morning line at least. You probably won't get 15 to 1 on IRAD, but IRAD moves the horse up automatically and could definitely have the horse right there. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. I'll go with the 12 on top.
Jason.
Yeah, so like you said, this is a mind-boggling race. I'm going to go 4 deep, but I mean, you asked for my top choice. My tepid top choice will be the 2. My Boy Prince. I like his versatility. He's won closing. He's won, close to the pace. He's won on the lead. I don't like that he's 0 for 2 and off the board in both races at Keeneland, but I'm using him, and if he asks me for a top choice, I'll have to make it him. My second choice is going to be the 6 Heart-Headed for Sharp. I do like Irad taking the mount. He's going to be flying late with Irad. Have to use the horse. I'll use the 8 Litigation for Lynch. Another who's going to be flying late down the stretch. And I'm going to throw in the 4 Yellow Card for McCarthy and Pratt. It's Pratt, a turf sprint. I have to use him. I don't like that as a California horse, but 4 deep. I could easily go all, but I'm trying to make a reasonable ticket. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 2, 6, 8, 4 in that order, I guess.
Yeah, I went 3 deep here. My top pick was also My Boy Prince. I know, Jason, you didn't like the Keeneland, but the one race was at a mile where he showed a ton of speed, and the other one was in the first half of his career where he just wasn't as good as he is, kind of coming into this race, the 2 at Keeneland. I mean, his 5 furlong, his 5.5 furlong race, he's kind of right there. I mean, it's a typical Cassie type of horse where he clearly looks like he's best sprinting, but Cassie decides he throws him in these route races. It's like where he muddles up the form completely, and you see Cassie do that a lot. But it works. I mean, I'm not going to argue with it, but you go back and you look at his last 2, he's right there. Then he has a bunch of routes, but then you go back to his sprints again, and he's right there. So you know, with Jose, I think he's going to continue to be right there. I also use Yellow Card with Pratt and McCarthy. Jason, you didn't like the California, but California turf sprinters actually do well.
Yeah, you're right.
That the distance one where class and they don't really run against
Yeah.
competition, but the turf sprinters tend to do pretty well. And it's another one where I'll be incredibly surprised you get even close to 10-1 on him. I think he's in the top 3 of prices when everything's said and done. And then my last pick was the 8 Litigation with Gutierrez and Lynch for the obvious reasons that you guys said. I'm not even 100% sure he'll go off as the favorite. I mean, he has no graded races under his belt. I know his buyer figures are kind of large, but no graded races. I could see some of these other ones with the jocks bringing the prices down and them going off, but I'm 2, 4, and 8 there. I'm all right. Let's go to the Bluegrass, which is our feature race. It's race 11. It kicks off at 6:22. And we'll go to Jason to tell us how you finish off your pick 4.
So before I give you my pick, I heard something crazy, and Chalky, you would probably know better than us, but I heard that like the Bluegrass winner has not won the Derby in like at least 30 years, something like that. Does that sound right?
Well, it was on synthetic there for a little bit.
The Bluegrass winner. There's horses that had their last race in the Bluegrass that have won the Derby, but you may very well be right about the Bluegrass winner, not because the year Street Sense ran in the Bluegrass, lost to Dominican. It was on synthetic by then. Keeneland had it. He lost by a nose or whatever.
And wasn't it for a while? Wasn't it like the stretch was downhill or something where it was like crazy, where Speed would just win this race all the time?
It might have been. I mean, Keeneland for a long time before switching to synthetic was very, very speed favoring.
It was like synthetic. Then they went, but it was like, so those horses, and then it went to synthetic, like you said, and then back. Who, I mean, Sierra Leone won this? Did he win this recently?
I think
Sierra Leone won, 2 years ago.
Oh, he almost won the Derby, and then there was like a Pletcher that wound up stinking in the Derby that won it a couple years ago. I mean,
you had he came in third. Elusive Quality, the year that Baffert got DQ'd and the other Cox horse got bumped up. But so you've had horses that have won this race and come back to run very well in the Derby, but probably, the winner of the Wood and the Derby winner hasn't come out of the Wood in forever, and the Bluegrass winner not in a very long time too.
Yeah, I mean the Wood is like lack of good horses, I would say, right? I mean I don't think the Bluegrass is necessarily that.
No, I thought it was odds that, but all right, I'm singling here. 6th, Further Ado. Exploded in October and stretched out, and first started Keeneland. Got a -1 Thorograph, which is ridiculous for a 2-year-old. Came back in the Kentucky Jockey Club, won but regressed to a 5. Returned off the layoff in March, paired the 5 in the Tampa Bay Derby, which is understandable, right? You bounced off of the -1, then you paired the 5, losing to the Puma. In that Tampa Bay Derby, who has since come back and kind of validated that race. So, and I honestly, I had handicapped this before Class President came out. I wasn't using that horse anyway, so that kind of hurts my price. But the only other threat in this race to me is Reagan's Honor for DeVoe. I don't trust DeVoe in dirt graded stakes races. I'm sorry. No thanks. I think pairing those 5s, I think he makes a move off of that, a move that's big enough to win. I don't know if this is a legit Derby horse, candidate to win, but in this race, that's my single, the 6.
We said that this race, the reason the horses had, it's not lack of quality, it's been more just whatever circumstances. This is a race that lacks quality, in my opinion. I would be very surprised if any of these horses come out to be any real Derby threat. I also singled the 6, and I actually wrote the word exploded on my PPs. If you go back, I know Jason kept saying regress, obviously regress. I don't trust the -1 number, So you could say regress. The horse won by 20 lengths. So I understand they probably just go off of sheer, they look at the variance from races prior and the length. So I get it. I just don't think the horse at 2 years old ran coming out of running whatever 12s or whatever, ran a -1 for legitimately. But regardless, obviously didn't run back to that number. But buyer wise, it's kind of a little more in line. But even those 5s, you pair the 5s, even any type of improvement is going to beat this field. Like Jason said, Reagan's Honors probably your only real, outside of a horse really stepping up, probably your only real threat. And for same reasons, I don't necessarily trust Cherry DeVoe. I also don't trust those numbers coming out of Fairgrounds, especially on the lead, which you do see a lot of speed just carry its way the whole way around that track. So I was using the 6 as well for another IRAD potential Derby horse that he's gonna get into the Derby.
And maybe he just loves this track too. I mean,
and yeah, it's hard
run that well at the track.
It's hard to say. I mean, the horse clearly ran unbelievable at Keeneland. So
Yeah,
in a race that does lack talent, I'm just gonna go to the known commodity with the 6. Chalky.
Well, if you've been following my ticket, I have to go light here. So I have a single, and just like last week, it is not the same single as you guys. That didn't work well for me. Trying to work well here. I am singling Reagan's Honor. A horse on the improve, and this is a little bit of insider info, if you want to call it that. So last week, I did happen to be with Jimmy D and his lovely wife for a short period of time. They know people that are partners in this horse, and the original plan was to cross center with the Wood and probably run in New York. But then when it looked, they didn't even bother any because they knew this race was going to come up lighter. Second gets him in the Derby, so maybe they're only running for that, but they are incredibly high on this horse. And DeVoe has had some success on the dirt with her sprinters. Turf longer for sure. But this is her first real potential Derby horse she's had. The 6 obviously could win easily if it runs back to any of those, but it has to get back to where it was, whereas Reagan's Honor to me is a little bit on, it's definitely improving every race. I watched every episode of Blue Bloods. I know it's after Ronald Reagan, not Frank Reagan, but I'll go with that. But I'm going to single Reagan's Honor, and if I'm knocked out by the favorite, so be it. But I'm going to take a stand with that horse.
You got to question that figure, too. That's another figure. Of course, you just look at Burgess, goes from a 10 to a 3 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not that big on the buyers,
runs an incredibly slow pace on the lead against 5 other horses.
No, yeah. I mean, even to me, if that's a 6, right? Like if that's a 6, it's still a nice jump and still a lot of room for improvement. And Further Ado could run a 3, or it could run another 5, and this horse run a 4, and maybe that's good enough to win.
Was that a restricted race, Tom? What does that see?
It's a non-claiming. So allowance non-claiming is there's no conditions. It's just an allowance race without conditions. But
that was against older horses.
I mean, generally, I will say,
they're not great older horses, but
from my experience, those races are generally written for a particular horse.
I think this horse is talented. I just don't.
The fact the horse was almost even money leads me to believe they wrote that race.
Yeah,
get him a race prior to a Derby prep race.
Very possible. I mean, I said they've been high on this horse, so they wanted to get that. They wanted to get another race in before going to one of the other ones. So it could easily have been written for him.
I just want to disclaim to our fans, I've followed the sport a while. I've known owners, trainers. I still have yet to find a trainer and or owner who doesn't like their horse. Just want to throw that out there. So you tell me a trainer that says my horse stinks, has no shot, not sure why. I watched Nick Zito.
I'm pretty sure we were at the Haskell one year for a horse that everybody knew had no shot.
I watched Nick Zito dump thousands of dollars into every pig he ran with no chance of winning and lose every single race. So
I
still haven't found owners that don't like their horse. So just a disclaimer. That's all I'm going to say. All right, let's give out some tickets. Jason, you had the winning ticket last week, so go ahead.
Well, last week I gave you guys $1 ticket. This week I'm only going to do 50 cents because I want to try and keep it reasonable. So it's going to be 50 cents because it's going to cost $24. Race 8, 5, 7, 9, 10. Race 9, 3, 4, 5. Race 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then race 11, single to 6. For 50 cents, it's $24.
Yeah, I'll give $1. I mean, you could do 50. It's pretty much similar to Jason's. My dollar ticket is 45. So cut that in half. It's pretty much the same ticket. It's whatever, 27 or so. No, that don't sound right.
22.50.
22.50. So it's 1, 5, 7, 9, 10 to start it off. 4, 5, 6. Second leg, 2, 4, 8. Third leg, and single to the 6 in the last leg. Charlie?
50-cent ticket. First leg is 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second leg is 1, 3, 5. Third leg is 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Last leg, single to 4 for 50 cents. That is $37.50.
All right. So some all reasonable tickets can all hit again because Chalky's single is different than myself and Jason's, but pretty similar ideas as you went through. I can definitely see that Shakertown screwing everybody up. Although the Appalachian sometimes pops with a surprising horse as well. Those turf horses are always kind of tough.
Yeah, I mean those are the two where like for my ticket, but I wanted coverage there. I had to go light at the end. If I was too deep in one of those, I probably obviously use the favorite as well. But
and again, disclaimer: these are like Jimmy Chalky caps the one for speed with Reagan's honor. You get scratches and the paces of these races completely change, and it does. Even the Florida Derby last week, that there was a bunch of scratches in the Florida Derby. I mean, ultimately the better horses still.
I can tell you, if we knew who was scratched, I would have used Nearly.
Yeah,
and he ran up the track.
He didn't even get the lead. He was like running off the lead, right? No, did he get? Oh no, he was on the lead.
He was up there, but it was a slow pace, and he's going to run away, and then he didn't have it.
Was he on the lead?
Like second or third?
Yeah, he wasn't on the lead.
He was up close to the pace. Yeah, he wasn't leading but yeah.
He wasn't on the lead.
So, we do them on Thursday. We don't have scratches, so just be mindful of those things when you look at the races. All right. Anything else?
No, we've got a big show next week.
Next week, we're looking to do it on Tuesday. We'll have it out by Wednesday. It is our Masters. We are planning on having Kevin on, our guest golf handicapper, along with us three, of course. For the Masters, always one of the fun. We'll bring back the Make the Cut. We'll give a guy for the cut. So definitely tune in on YouTube for that for next week, and hopefully you enjoyed episode 200 of Broad Street Hustle. Have a great night.